Okay, I wanted to do a quick unboxing. This is for a Company B product, an M1A1 Sherman with the cast hull. This is footage that I found that is a little bit older, but I did want to put it together and get it out to you so you can see it. Remember, I am a noob, I am not an expert, so this is just how I did it. Is it right or wrong? Probably wrong, but I don't care. Okay, hello everyone. Quick unpackaging. Since there's no box, I can't really call it an unboxing, can I? This is a Company B package. In all honesty, I actually did an unpackaging on this probably 6 months ago when I bought it. 6 months ago? Yeah. Sometime when there was snow on the ground. It's July right now. Actually, it's August 1st. Wow. I've just been sitting collecting some dust since then. And all the original unboxing was lost, so I'm just going to redo it again real fast. It's Company B, Famous Tanks and Commanders Series, Lafayette Pool, in the mood. Let me open this up real fast since there's all this glare going on here. And a little quick blurb about Lafayette Pool. He was Tank Ace. And I believe he had 4 tanks in service during his tour. Maybe it was only 3. But anyways, this should represent, I would believe, the 3rd, even though the stickers say in the mood 2, but his 3rd one was called in the mood also, which was the 76, and this is the 76. What's in here is the hull, turret, hatches, hedgerow cutter, 50 cal commander, hull accessory sprue, plural, decals, tracks, mantlet and gun barrel, fender, stowage, rear shelf, rear panel, and nothing inside, just a piece of paper. And the reason I bought this is not because it's a famous tank commander or anything like that. It's because it's an M1A1 Sherman with the cast hull, and there's not a lot of those out there. There's, I think, Warlord's got one. I think maybe there's some dirt or oils on here. Who knows? I've played with this before. And this has been on the table every now and then as a smoke marker on it as a smashed up tank. Very crisp detail. Very clean. It's nice weight to it. It's got a little bit of sprue gating here, but not bad. Nothing on the bottom, but who cares? Don't expect anything to be. Some indicators to line up the side tracks when you put them on. Really not a lot to it. I see tailback there. There is actually a metal piece that blocks that in and fills it in as it should be. Actually, let's do the turret next. And it does have a 76 turret and 76 with it. Very good detail on this, if I could focus. The lift rings are hollowed out. A little bit of flash on this, nothing a little bit of sanding or filing can't clean up in a few minutes. Again, not much to it. You've got the loader's hatch or gunner's hatch, whatever you want to call it, and the commander. Not much to it. It does come with decals. It's got, well, they're right side up. It's got in the mood 2. It's got the tank kill indicators, 3 stars, and then 2 designation markings. Is that what they are, or just markings? Not much to it. All you really need for simple tank decaling. And there might have been some dents in that as I get so this has been laying around. Don't mind the paint on my hands. I've been busy at work working on my American Force as we're having a little bit of a heat wave, and I've got some time working from home, so just doing a little bit of painting while I'm working. Shh, don't tell my boss. And if you're watching this, shh. Tank tread, nice detail, nice clean. It's nice and straight. Very little flash on it, but it's got a little bit and some stuff inside to clean up. Should only take a few minutes. Poke at it with the knife real quick to clean it up. Same thing for the other side. It's slightly different color, but that's okay. Again, fairly straight, if not completely straight. I did get one from maybe it was a little warped and straightened out really fast. It might have actually been one of these too, I don't remember. I don't think it was though. I think it was a different kit. Oops, I dump everything on the table here. Pardon my bench. It is a mess, and I was just working outside to turn on the camera while I was sitting here and open this up again. We've got the mantlet. We've got some accessory sprues. It looks like we've got a entrenching tool or shovel, pickaxe, jack, and I think gun cleaning rods. I'll figure out where those go. We've got the 76, very little flashing or mold lining on it. Needs to be drilled out a little bit on the end. It's mostly straight. There's a little bend in it, not much. We've got a fender. I like metal fenders. They're really easy to put a little bend in one of them, give it a little character. Let's see what's going on. A little bit of wear and tear. There should be a second one. There is indeed a second one. So we do have two fenders. That one actually is already bent. We have two sprues of lift rings, lights, and light guards, it looks like, or light covers. We have a Collins hedgerow cutter. Wow, I can't speak today. Rumor is he had one for one engagement. I don't think I'm going to put it on this one because I don't know that it would have actually gone on the 76. Not sure. Don't care. I'm probably going to leave it off. Well, you know what? Maybe I will. I don't know. Got a couple tarpaulins. Here's the metal bracket. It took me a little while to figure out what that was for until I was looking at it, and that goes in that little space back there to eaten that up. I guess that was a limitation of casting. I have a axe. Oops. Oh, it's not focused. Don't care. This is probably the roughest and worst unboxing you've ever seen, but I just wanted to get it done real fast before I lose the light to do a little airbrushing. The gunner's hatch, commander's hatch, commander's head, the hull machine gun and gun lock, and then the driver and assistant driver hatches, and then a rear deck shelf if I opt for it. I don't know that prototype would have had one on here. I'm probably going to leave it off. So I just realized there's a little air bubble right in the front there in the transmission. Might need to clean that up a little bit, a little filler and a little file. We'll see how that goes. Alright, I'm gonna put this together real fast and I'll be back. Okay, welcome back to my messy desk. It's usually not this messy, but guess I'm kind of in a rush, and now it's a little messier because there's little bits of flash all over. I went ahead and cleaned up the tank. I got rid of all the extra flashing and scars that I could from it. There's a few little spots in the front here that might need a little filling. I'll wait until after I assemble it all and primer it up and see what she needs. One thing in the boxing that was missing is there was a machine gun. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I had pulled that out months ago and set it aside for another project I was going to steal it for and never did. It goes in there. There's already a... Oops. Let me make sure it's out of focus because, you know, that's always a good thing to do. There is a magnet already in that hole. I was getting ready to magnetize it and got ahead of myself there. So... went ahead and cleaned up all the little lift rings here. I cleaned up the lift rings on the mantlet a little bit, just poked it with a hobby knife and just cleaned them up a little bit so there are holes again. Glued the barrel. There is a little bit of a war wound in the mantlet here, as you can see. It seems, can't see this on real life, but on camera it looks like there's still a burr on the barrel. It should be pretty good though. As far as this thing, I don't know if I'm going to fill or just give it the tank some character. We'll see when I get there after I prime it. I know I should fill it before I prime it, but, well, whatever. I don't follow the rules all the time. Oops. And I stuck the tank in the glue. Awesome. That's why you shouldn't use a piece of random paper for glue. Alright. I'm going to make sure everything's out of focus, because, you know, that's the way I roll. Because, you know, I want to keep you guessing what I'm really doing instead of showing what I'm doing. Remember, I am no expert at this. This is only my second resin kit ever. The first one being the, not the Thor Panzer mech, but the other huge Panzer mech for Conflict 47 by Warlord Games for Germans. Why am I drawing a blank on? I should probably trim the gun down so it's not as tall. But actually, now I said that, it's not a very clean surface. I'm going to file it a little bit here. And this is a very fragile gun. This is not a gaming gun. It's more like a scale gun, if you know what I mean. And there's still some wet glue on that thing. Hopefully, I'll get some fresh glue. And now sit and wait for 15 minutes while it dries. Oops. And bear with me, this is a little difficult with the camera between me and the piece here, and my hand blocking everything. Just roll this on over. Alright, so we're going to continue on here with just still images. I apparently lost all the video, but we have enough still images to get through. So I went ahead and magnetized the 50 cal and added it to the roof of the turret. Then I went ahead and added the gun mantlet combination, put it at an angle that I thought looked reasonable for an action pose. Then I went ahead and started adding the metal bits to the hull. Went ahead and started with the spade or the shovel. Went ahead, got that on there. Then I went over to the other side and added the axe and the head for the pickaxe. And then I do end up adding the the pickaxe handle and other bit, not sure what it is, and put them in the wrong spot, but oh well, live and learn. Then I went ahead and added the barrel lock to the front of the tank. As you can see, I probably got a little bit too much glue all over this thing. I was having a few issues with it. I'm not too worried about it. Paint will cover it. Doesn't really matter. Weathering covers it all up. Went ahead and added the machine gun. And here you get a pretty close-up look at the goo on the front of the transmission, or the bad casting there. A little bit of sanding and filler does clean that up eventually. Then I went ahead and added the tail lights. They are the same tail light for each side, and it is a flat piece going onto a round part, so make sure you get them nice and level. Otherwise I want to angle off to the side. It wasn't a hard deal. It was one of the easier pieces to put on, honestly. Then I went ahead and put that little metal piece across the back there. It just sort of fit in the hole. I think I had to do a little bit of filing his hand to get it all in there, but it fits fine. Then I went ahead and added the headlights and the headlight protectors. Those were fun, and that's sarcasm. Went ahead and added the lift rings again. Those were a little interesting. Just a little bit of patience, but got them on there. And then went ahead and added the front fenders and the drivers and gunner or co-driver radio operator hatch. Those went in there nice and easily. You could see the slop of glue I got on trying to get the headlights and stuff on there. Not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. A little bit of dirt and cover all that up. Went ahead and added the commander's hatch and the gunner's hatch. Commander's hatch was really easy. It went on well either in the open or closed position. The other hatch was real pain in the dick. it didn't fit in the hole and it didn't fit on top of the hole. It didn't drop into the correct. It was like they were too big. They didn't quite drop into the holes they were expected. Ended up just slamming them on there. I had to file them down a little bit. They're on. Whatever. I don't care. Once the paint's on, you don't really notice it. And we see a couple action shots of it, or a couple of photos of it all finished up here. And then here we've got the modulation paint on it. It's 3-color green at this point. Can't really tell the way the sun's hitting it, but it's ready to go. And then we went ahead and added the camouflage and decals. It's definitely going to need some weathering and stuff on there. Okay, so didn't expect this to be in the same video, but here it is. The tank is at a tabletop standard at the moment, and I did rush through this, so it's not my best paint job, but I have a game tonight and I want to play with it. It's also been a real pain in the butt to get this one painted, not because of the model, but because of the weather here. It has been upper 80s and 85% humidity, so everything is just sticky, tacky, nothing's drying, so things are just not going well for modeling. Normally I would probably not do anything this week, so it's been a bit of a pain, but it is painted. It's I did it with a camouflage color, as one of the prototype photos indicated it should have been done. I used the black and green. It's also painted in a modulation paint set. It's really hard to tell because it's so gloss coated, but things like the curves going around are actually much lighter green than the rest of it. And everywhere the sun would be reflecting off of it is much lighter green. I did the base in the, I used the MIG modulation set, so the olive drab dark is the dark base color for most of it. I then have the olive drab light base going over the rest of it, or going over the first layer of highlights. And then the final layer of highlights is the olive drab shine. And this, very little of this is used, but it was used mostly on the curves, the edges of where the sun would be hitting. Whereas the light was done over most of the top surfaces, things like that. Again, you know, with it being the poor weather, it was really hard to get everything to go right. And of course, the clear coat wanted to stay tacky forever. It took a long time to dry. And then with the black, I used flat black MIG paint from the same set for the base black. I then lightened it up with a little bit of Vallejo black gray, and then finished it off with a straight Vallejo black gray for the last of the modulation on that. Very little of that is on here though, so it's kind of hard to tell. It does still need a filter and then weathering, but you know, I could do that a month from now. It's no rush. The tracks are not glued on. They are just stuck on with the tackiness of the air and humidity right now. I will probably just blue tack them on for tonight's game and play with it, and then tomorrow or some other time filter and weather it up. I do have several vehicles that are in the same boat. I mean, here's a Rubicon Deuce and a Half, same thing. It's modulated but still needs a filter and weathering on it. Just to give you an idea of how to use the colors. Another thing too that some people might be interested in is if you've got the old Rubicon Sherman, the original one, and you had a 75 gun on it, since you couldn't build both turrets. If you have this turret, it does, oops, sorry, that's the Warlord Sherman, my bad. Does not fit in the Warlord Sherman as you just saw. The Rubicon Sherman right here, same thing, modulation paint job, and that does fit. There's a little bit of slack in there, but that's okay for the table. It should be good enough to play. Again, you know, that's, most people wouldn't need that option, but if you had the 75 and you want to play with the 76, although this does look a little bit odd as I've got a camouflage turret on a non-camouflage hull, but I was just showing you that it does fit. So overall, it's a beautiful kit. Without the instructions on it, I did do a few errors. I mean, as we saw, my tools are in slightly wrong places, but good enough. Who knows, maybe it's just a rebuild in the field, we can call it. Not sure, but in the end, if I were to build another one, and I would build another one had I had one, I would know the steps and what to do. I would definitely do it a little bit differently. I would place a few things slightly differently, but overall, it's a great kit. Company B offers quite a few products. Sorry, a little dust in there. Customer service there is great. I've had to reach out and touch them a few times. I've also asked them for instructions on how to build something, and they emailed me a set of instructions that weren't on their webpage. Did not do that for this tank. Everything else, though, about the company is great. Got no complaints for them. Definitely, it's a nice alternative to, say, a Warlord or the people that don't like the plastic models so much. They are mostly resin. So, I should say they're all resin with the exception of their minis, which are metal. So, that's an alternative for the people that prefer the resin tanks. I know there's also a couple other companies out there that people use, like Blitzkrieg and things like that, which I've never picked up one of their models yet. I'll have to get one of those eventually. Anyways, thanks for watching. If I ever finish this tank and weather it all up, maybe I'll throw some updates on it at a later date. In the meantime, I've got a game to play, so thanks for watching. Bye.